master learning objective for this video is I can solve quadratic equations by factoring and applying the zero product property. Right? So here we are solving. Remember, solving means that I get something like x equals. We're still factoring like we've been doing in the 2 units, the last 2 videos, and now we are also going to use the zero product property. We're going to learn what that is. Okay? So those are your big things. We're solving by factoring and this new zero product property. Okay? The zero product property is what it says for any real numbers A and B. If AB equals 0, then A equals 0, or B equals 0. What that means is anytime I multiply anything and it's equal to 0, then I can just split those up. Here I have x plus 3 times x plus 2 multiplication. I can split it up. I have x plus 3 equals 0. Sorry, this thing is weird. I have x plus 3 equals 0, or x plus 2 equals 0. And then I just solve each of those equations. Okay, so when we have the zero product property, we just split it into 2 equations. Okay, again, you must have a product, so multiplication, and it only works if it's equal to 0. Okay? So our steps. 1, set quadratic equal to 0. I have to have a 0. 2, factor. Okay? That could be the regular box method or difference of squares, just like a cell. We also have to look for GCF. Okay, there's all those things. And then again, just like then we use our zero product property, we split it into 2 equations equal to 0. So let's look at number 1. Number 1 says 4t plus 1 times t minus 2 equals 0. This one is already solved for us, or already factored for us. So I have 4t plus 1 equals 0, and t minus 2 equals 0. Okay. I just split it up. We're going to start with this equation. Remember, addition and subtraction first. I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. 4t equals negative 1. And then I'm going to divide by 4. t equals negative 1 divided by 4 is negative 1/4. T minus 2 equals 0. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. T equals 0 plus 2 is 2. So both of these are my answers. When you're solving quadratics, you'll get 2 answers. Looking at number 2, x squared plus 8x plus 15 equals 0. Okay, this one I have to factor. Let's start with my box. I have x squared here, 15 here. I need to multiply 2. 1 times 15, which is 15. And I need to add 8. What multiplies 15 and adds to 8? That's going to be 3x and 5x. So, writing x squared is x times x times positive 3, x times positive 5. Once I've factored, I'm just setting these equal to 0. I have x plus 3 equals 0, and I have x plus 5 equals 0. I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides for this one. X equals negative 3. I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. X equals negative 5. Those are my 2 answers. All right, looking at number 3. I have w squared minus 5w equals 14. Remember, it only works if I have a 0 on the right side. So the first thing I need to do is I need to get 0. So in order to get 14 to be 0, I need to subtract 14. That goes away. Here, W squared, W, and a constant. None of these are like terms, so I'm just writing them down. W squared minus 5W minus 14 equals 0. I'm going to draw my box then to factor, because there are 3 terms. I have W squared and negative 14. I want to multiply 2. 1 times negative 14 is negative 14. I want to add 2, negative 5. So again, looking at your multiples of negative 14, 1 and 14, that has no way of getting to 5. 7 and 2, that could work if I have a negative 7W and a positive 2W. So W squared is W times W. W times minus 7, W times positive 2. So then again, now I'm going to take these and set them equal to 0. W minus 7 equals 0. W plus 2 equals 0. Add 7. W equals 7. Subtract 2. W equals negative 2. So W equals 7 and W equals negative 2. All right, looking at our next problem. I have 3x squared minus 12 equals 0. Now that there's a number in front of the x squared, the first thing I want to look for is see if it has a greatest common factor. Okay. Well, I have a 3 here. Is 12 divisible by 3? Yes. So I'm going to divide both of these by 3. I'm going to divide everything by 3 first. Okay, for solving. So I have x squared minus 4 equals 0 divided by 3 is 0. Alright, from here. Now, this problem is different from our 3 problems at the top, because this one only has 2 terms. Remember, when there's 2 terms, you want to look for a difference of squares. This one is subtraction. Can I take the square root of x squared? Yes. Can I take the square root of 4? Yes. Okay, so the square root of x is square root of x. The square root of 4 is 2. So that means I have, remember, x plus 2, x minus 2. Alright, that's from our last activity or in our last video. Again, I'm going to split this. X plus 2 equals 0. X minus 2 equals 0. I have to subtract 2 from both sides. Here, x equals negative 2. Here, I have to add 2 to both sides. X equals positive. Looking at number 5, same type of thing, I have to have it equal to 0. So the first thing I have to do is subtract this 25. Anything I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So I have x squared minus 25 equals 25 minus 25 is 0. I do have my subtraction sign and 2 terms. So the square root of x squared is x. The square root of 25 is 5. So I have x plus 5, x minus 5. I'm going to split my equation. X plus 5 equals 0. X minus 5 equals 0. Subtract 5 from both sides. X equals negative 5. Add 5 to both sides. X equals 5. Alright, Number 6, last one on this page. Okay, again, I have a number. I want to see if I can divide everything by that. Well, I can divide 4 by 4. I can divide 16 by 4. I can divide 12 by 4. So I'm going to just divide everything by 4. I have x squared plus 4x plus 3 equals 0. To solve this, I'm going to draw, right, this is 3 terms, 1, 2, 3, so I have to draw my box. X squared here, 3 here. I need to multiply 2. 1 times 3 is 3. I need to add 2, positive 4. What multiplies to 3 and adds to 4? Well, the only thing that multiplies to 3 is 1 and 3, and that's nice because 1 plus 3 is 4. So 1x and 3x. Writing the outside, I have x squared is x times x. X times positive 1, x times positive 3. So I have x plus 1 equals 0, and x plus 3 equals 0. Subtract 1, x equals negative 1. Subtract 3, x equals negative 3. Alright, this is the last thing we are going to look at. So we're just connecting what we are doing with factoring with what we looked at with graphing in our target A. Okay, so let's start by factoring and solving this equation. I'm going to draw my box. Again, we have x squared and negative 3. Remember, I want to multiply 2. 1 times negative 3, which is negative 3. And I want to add 2, this middle number, 2. Okay. Well, again, what multiplies to negative 3 and adds to 2? Well, the only thing that multiplies to 3 is 1 and 3. If I have a positive 3 and a negative 1, right, 3 plus negative 1 is 2, 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Alright, filling in the outside, x, right, x squared is x times x times positive 3, x times negative 1. Solving then, x plus 3 equals 0, x minus 1 equals 0. And then I subtract 3. I'm going to do x equals negative 3. I'm going to add 1. X equals 1. Alright, looking at our graph. I'm going to graph this function in my calculator. So again, I'm going to go home, new document, and I want to add a graph, number 2. Okay. This was x squared plus 2x minus 3. So I'm going to look for my vertex. My vertex is here at negative 1, negative 1, 2, 3, 4 down. Alright, so there's my vertex. My 0 and my x-intercept, 1, 0, and negative 3, 0. Okay? So I'm going to put those 3 points on my graph. It was negative 3, 0, 1, 0, and negative 1 down, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So that's approximately what my graph looks like. Okay, find the x-intercepts and restate them as 0. So again, we did find my x-intercept. Here, -3, 0, and 1, 0. What that really means is my x is equal to -3, and my x is equal to 1. Well, if you look here, x is equal to -3, and x is equal to -1. The factors for the zeros are then going to be the same factors I found above. X plus 3, x minus 1. Okay? So our question, how do you solve an equation from its graph? Right? Find x-intercept. Then write as x equals whatever. Okay, right here, -0, 1, 0, x equals -3, x equals 1. Number 4, how do you factor an equation from its graph? Well, just like we did here, it was -3, we changed it to +3, 1 changed to -1. Right? So really all you do is change the sign of zeros, right, or your x-intercept, and write as x plus blank, x plus blank, right, or minus, depending on the sign. All right, that is it. I will see you guys next time. Go ahead and start working on activity C3.